So the meta's been shifting up, and I've been trying to talk about it as much as I can, but one character that I feel like a lot of people have kind of been sleeping on, including me, is Doomfist. Now, at the beginning of the season, I actually wanted to main this character, and I actually started to play him for quite a while. I think I got around to 3,300 trying to one-trick him, but eventually, playing in Mercy meta, I just kind of stopped because it wasn't that fun at that time, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But now Doomfist is kind of actually showing up. He's kind of becoming a character that is actually playable, and today I want to talk about why Doomfist might be actually dang good right now, and why he might be a pick that you want to go for in some of your matches. Now, I'm going to say that if you are just looking at all the flankers side by side, Genji is probably still a better one to play, or Tracer, but if you really like Doomfist's design in his kit, I think he is now in the playable state, so there's a TLDR. But with that said, let's just get started on some more exact things. First off, what I want to talk about is the fact that Doomfist is actually showing up in top 500. And I know in some regions we have had a Doomfist main or two in just different regions. Chips, I think, was a really good Doomfist. It kind of depended over time. There's one or two Doomfist mains sometimes showing up. But right now, I just barely checked. There was at least 5 Doomfist mains in the top 500. And I know, that's only like 1% of the top 500. But still, that's better than what it used to be. And that means that at least Doomfist has a chance to become a good character that can win games, that can climb really high up in the ladder. I know any character can do this, but having at least 5 characters, I think, should say that he's good enough that multiple people can play him, not just one amazing player by himself boosting the stats like Jardio playing Mei. There's a lot of different people actually picking this guy up right now, so I think that's the thing that we should keep in mind when thinking about how good this character is, and we've really only seen these people actually playing Doomfist and popping off and climbing up with him after the Mercy changes. And this is why that's that way. Mercy and Doomfist really didn't go a long way too well together. It was a lot more beneficial for the Mercy than for the Doomfist. Doomfist could sometimes in the Mercy meta get into the enemy backline, finish off the Mercy in one punch, and win your team the team fight. But in a lot of cases, and especially big team fights, you just kind of had no way to kill her. Even if you got into the enemy backline, she is the Guardian Angel to make your rocket punch, which was very unreliable at the time, just probably not going to kill her, honestly. And if Mercy had her ultimate as Doomfist, you have nothing you can do against that. I mean, I guess sometimes you could get on high ground, get some jank angles, and maybe punch her into a wall, but that's not very reliable. I think that in itself just made Doomfist not that great of a pick, and as well, all the pick characters weren't as good because if you got a pick, Mercy would just res him up straight away. But now that that's kind of out of the way, I think Doomfist has a lot more room to come in. He has a lot more room to play against the other supports. And overall, I'm just going to say the Doomfist did have problems with Mercy, and I think he always will. But now he doesn't have to deal with her quite as much. And that's honestly something that I feel like is boosting his win rate and boosting just him as a character a lot. I guess there is one other thing, though, that we could talk about that's going to be helping Doomfist. And this is actually something that just barely came out. And that's the fact that Doomfist is getting a buff that makes it that his primary fire is actually a lot more reliable. I think they're making it go from shooting 6 of those shotgun bullets to 11 now. He's going to do overall the same amount of damage, but there's also going to be less variance in where the bullets go. So overall, he's going to be a lot more reliable. When you actually ease somebody into the air, hopefully you're going to be able to hit almost all of your bullets now, instead of sometimes all of them hitting, all of them headshotting, and some other times none of them hitting for no apparent reason. I hope that that kind of gets fixed, and I feel like if that buff does come up as well, adding a bit of consistency to Doomfist with the bug changes and with this primary fire buff, all that together should just help him continue on being a very good flanker character that you might want to be picking up for yourself. But speaking of flanking, I think that is the thing you should probably try to do if you want to pick up this character. I think I've kind of gone over already how Doomfist is most likely going to be, half decent. But what do you want to do with the character? Well, I think it should be pretty obvious. You should probably try to flank with him. And what I mainly focus on in this next meta is trying to flank on the enemy team and trying to pick off their supports. Doomfist has always been very good at this. He can one-shot supports. He can at least, if he can't get the one-shot with the rocket punch, E in, shoot them twice. E in, shoot them once, shift, shoot them twice, and then rocket punch away. There's a lot of ways for Doomfist to get in, to get out. He has an ultimate to help him with that. And right now, he does quite well against all the supports. Now, against some of them, like Moira and Lucio, it can be kind of hard to pick them off, but it's a lot easier than it was with Mercy, and you can often bait the mobility, bait their damage, bait their heals, bait something, and then go for them, and then kill them. In general, I'm going to say he does win against most of the supports, especially when you compare it to how Doomfist had to play against Mercy, which was not that great at all. I think that in the next meta, if it is a tank meta, Doomfist will be able to reliably kill these characters. But even if it's a meta that just focuses on, again, like a spammy character like Junkrat or Soldier or McCree, you can easily get into the enemy backline and try to one-shot the best you possibly can. I mean, if it is a McCree, it might be kind of hard for you as Doomfist because he's a hard counter, but otherwise, yeah, I think Doomfist is going to be doing fine in that sense as well. Just being able to kill people more consistently and being able to get picks in the backline, that honestly is going to probably hold him onto the meta for quite a while. But let's say that you can't get a lot of kills right now, and let's say that you get into a game and the enemy supports are just way too well positioned, you can't pick them off, you don't have any help getting them. Well, Doomfist still can do half okay without getting picks. Of course, you want to focus on getting picks, you want to try to kill the supports, you want to try to kill the enemy DPS, that's the best thing for you to do as this character, but you still can do okay against tanks, and I want you guys to remember that. If there is a triple tank meta, while Doomfist can't really kill the tanks, he can displace the tanks and put them in bad positions, and if he gets rid of the space that they're creating or pushes the space way out in the boonies, that's something that can win your team a team fight. I think a lot of people don't really realize that, but it honestly is. And as well, you can open up a lot of openings for your own tanks to go in. I think a Reinhardt Shadow would be a really good example with this. If you can rocket punch the enemy Reinhardt, he's going to be flying through the air. Your own Reinhardt then has a good opportunity to go for his Earth Shatter, and hopefully you'll be able to win that team fight from there. I think that's just a very easy example. It might be kind of hard to pull off, but it is a thing that Doomfist can do, and otherwise he can just, in general, push people off your own supports, you know, push people off your low HP tanks, and he can kind of just help by moving people around. So if you even can't get kills, he still does at least have a little bit of usability, unlike a lot of the other DPS, which can't do much when they can't get kills. For supports, I think it's another thing that we should mention because the supports right now are great with Doomfist. I think Ana is an okay support, I think Mercy is an okay support, but neither of them really work all that amazingly with Doomfist. Ana's ultimate can work okay with Doomfist, but doesn't really work with his kit. He has one-shots anyways, he doesn't really need that, and consistent damage with Ana's ultimate, it doesn't really help him way too much. But the supports that are great right now, that being Zenyatta, and of course Moira and Lucio, those I think are amazing with Doomfist. Zenyatta, put the healing orb on your Doomfist, he flanks, you Discord orb somebody, Doomfist can get the one-shot just so much easier and more reliable. You can dive in with Lucio if you have to go for that, play in a dive comp, 2-2-2, that can work fine. And finally, if you're playing a death ball comp, I think Doomfist can work well in there as well, because he can allow your death ball to just reliably get in, push the enemy anchors out of the way, and kind of just going from there. And the Moira can heal your entire team, including the Doomfist. And Doomfist will probably not get one shot because of his shields on himself and his overall high HP pool, which makes him as well pretty dang good for death ball in my opinion. All the supports that are going to become good in this new meta are good with Doomfist, and he doesn't really have any super bad counters in this new meta. I mean, I guess you could say Ana, if she's really good at sleep darting, can hurt Doomfist a lot, but you could apply that to any character, so I don't really want to go there. Now, I guess the final note to talk about with the meta of competitive, that should be, I guess, an important thing to keep in mind as well, is that Doomfist can actually play okay with triple DPS. He's a flanker, he can bully the enemy front line, and he can kind of do whatever is needed that some of the other DPS can't do. I know a lot of DPS can hold the front line, like if you want to play Reaper, for example, or a lot of DPS can go to the flanker mode if you want to say Genji or Tracer, or sometimes Hanzo if you play him like that. But Doomfist can kind of do it all, and I feel like if you do need to play triple DPS because you're only playing Doomfist and everyone else is only playing DPS, he is a viable strategy to pick up in that situation. And in competitive where there's a lot of triple DPS, I think Doomfist is an okay pick just because he's, you know, kind of tanky, does a lot of damage, and gets picked, which is just kind of what you need when you're playing triple DPS. And I guess the final thing about meta that you might want to bring into your own Overwatch competitive games is try to duo queue with a Winston or a support. I think either of those is a good idea, but I feel like Doomfist Winston is very easy to pull off. All you have to do is jump into the enemy backline at the same time, target the same person, kill them, and then run away, and you can both do that semi-easily. I think the problem about Doomfist is that, again, sometimes he isn't the most consistent thing in the world. Sometimes you're going to get the enemy to, like, you know, a third, a fourth of their health, and you just can't quite finish them off, but the Winston can finish them off right there in that situation, and then you can get out together. You can stay safe in the bubble for a few seconds, run away. I think overall that's going to be a good combination, and even though Winston, again, doesn't do that amazingly versus triple tank, if they're running a normal 2-2-2 combo, I think that's going to be a okay pick for you to pick up as Doomfist if you want to go for that. But overall, I'm going to say, yeah, I think Doomfist is finally going to become a playable character again, and I might actually pick him up this new season. I've been maining D.Va for a few months now, I guess, only about a month and a little bit more, and maybe right now is the time to get back to Doomfist. I want to hear your guys' own opinions, though, in the comment section down below. Do you think that Doomfist is going to become a good character right now? Will we start seeing a lot more of him in the top 500, or do you think he's just going to stay as a pretty good character that is kind of like Sombra, kind of like Mei, that you can pick up, but is still quite situational. I want to hear you guys' own opinions in the comment section down below. Anyways, as always, guys, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day.